Hello children and welcome to the session today. Did you have your meal before joining the session? If you did, how are you feeling? I'm sure you would be feeling very energized and ready to learn, right? In case you have not had your meal and you're sitting there on an empty stomach, do you really want to listen to me? No, because your mind is somewhere else. You are not able to focus. So children, this is the importance of having food. And the process of taking enough food is known as nutrition. So welcome to the first class of your new session. Chapter number 1, Nutrition in Plants. Today we are going to learn what is nutrition, what are the types of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition in plants, heterotrophic nutrition, saprotrophs, and replenishing of nutrients in the soil. So just as we began the class, we understood taking enough food and its importance. The process is known as nutrition. And why is nutrition important? It is important for the growth of the body, repair of the damaged tissues and body parts, and to provide energy to carry out various life processes. Children, who all need food? Let's just understand. So we know that human beings need food. If we have pets, we also know that animals also need food. And if we have plants in our house and we are regularly watering them and adding manure to them, that means we understand that plants also need food. So all living organisms need food. Human beings can eat chicken, fish, eggs, vegetables, fruits, etc. Animals, again, they can be herbivore, carnivore or omnivore. Now what about plants? How do plants get their nutrition? So we have learned from junior classes that plants are the only living organisms that can make their food. Today we are going to understand that plants are not just the ones who make their foods. They are plants which are also dependent on other plants. So there are two modes of nutrition in plants. They are autotrophic. Auto means self, the plants that can make their own food, and heterotrophic, that means plants that cannot make their own food and they depend on other plants or other sources of nourishment. Now, what do autotrophs do? Let's do a quick recap because we've been learning this right from KG. So, we know that plants in the presence of sunlight conduct a process called photosynthesis. They take up carbon dioxide and water from outside, and in the presence of chlorophyll in the green leaf, they convert it into glucose and oxygen. Now this glucose is the food for the plant and this oxygen is released in the environment for us to breathe in. So here we see an important component in the production of food is chlorophyll. And where is chlorophyll present? It is present only in green leaves. So that means which are the plants that are autotrophic? Only green plants are autotrophic. Here also we will find some distinction which we will understand later in the chapter. Now here we conclude that photosynthesis is a process that provides food to the plants, and photosynthesis is also a process that helps in the release of oxygen in the environment, which is used by the other living organisms to breathe in. Now children, the glucose that is prepared by the plant, it is converted into starch and it is stored in the leaf or other parts of the plant. Now how do you confirm that starch is formed? We will conduct a small activity here to understand that starch is formed in the process of photosynthesis. To test the presence of starch in a leaf, you will need a green leaf, beaker, tripod stand, burner, test tube, alcohol, iodine solution, tap water and a petri dish. Pluck a healthy green leaf of a plant and keep for about 2 minutes. This will make the leaf soft and stop any further chemical changes in it. Put the leaf in a test tube containing alcohol. Place the test tube in a beaker of boiling water. The alcohol will bleach the leaf and make it free from chlorophyll. Wash the leaf in water. Place it in a petri dish and add a few drops of iodine solution. The leaf turns blue-black. The leaf changes into blue-black color due to the presence of starch in it. So through this process, this simple experiment, we know that starch is formed during the process of photosynthesis. Now, how about testing whether light is really required for the process of photosynthesis or not? Let us conduct another experiment to understand that light is necessary for photosynthesis. To show that light is necessary for photosynthesis, take a potted plant with big green leaves. Destarch the plant by placing it in dark for 2-3 days. Cover a portion of both the sides of a leaf with stiff black strips. The strips should be clipped or fixed with the help of a sellotape. Place the plant in the sunlight for 5 to 6 hours. Pluck the covered leaf and remove the black strips. Test the leaf for presence of starch. What do you observe? The leaf turns blue-black all over except the portions covered with black strips, which becomes brown. The covered portion of the leaves did not receive any sunlight and hence could not synthesize starch. In a similar manner, we can follow the instructions given in our book and understand how chlorophyll is necessary for the process of photosynthesis and how carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. So the one thing that is produced as a product of photosynthesis is starch. But is there anything else that the plants also produce? Yes, the plants also produce fats. These are stored in the form of oils and essential oils. So we all are aware that mustard oil is extracted from mustard seeds. Sunflower oil is extracted from sunflower seeds. So what are these? These are fats that are stored in the plant seeds. Similarly, plants also create proteins. Now these proteins can be created by chemical fixation during lightning and thunder shower, and they are also created by rhizobium, which is a nitrogen fixing bacteria. So what do these things do? Lightning converts the nitrogen in the atmosphere into nitrogenous substances which enter the plant through the soil. And what do these rhizobium bacteria do? They are present in the root nodules of leguminous plants, and they also use the nitrogen in the soil to convert it into nitrogenous substances which are added to the plant. So we all know that soya bean is one plant which is very, very rich in protein. Now let's move on to understand the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now what is heterotrophic? Heterotrophic means when you are depending on somebody else. Now in nature, there are two important things for us to understand. One is the food chain and the other is the food web. So what is a food chain? If you look at this picture carefully, what do you see? You see a plant that is eaten by a grasshopper, which is eaten by a bird, a snake, and a snake finally by an owl. So the energy, the food energy from one step is moving to the second step, third step, fourth step and fifth step. When this energy is moving in a chain manner, it is known as a food chain. However, when the same energy flows from one organism to another like this. It is known as a food web. So here we see that more than one organism is depending on the plant. The berries in this case, butterfly, bird and grasshopper. The grasshopper is eating the berries also, it is eating the plant also. Similarly, a bird is eaten by a snake, a butterfly by a frog, and the snake eats both the frog and the bird. The snake can be further eaten by a vulture. Similarly, other organisms are also being eaten by different organisms. So here, the flow of energy is not in a linear manner. It moves like a web. So what is this called? This is called a food web. So we know that in the animal world, there are herbivores, which are grass-eating animals, carnivores that eat other animals, and omnivores which eat both plants and animals. But what is a heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants? Let us understand through these videos. Some plants exhibit heterotrophic nutrition. Let us learn about some modes of heterotrophic nutrition. Non-green plants like mushroom and bread molds obtain their food from dead and decaying plants and animals. They are called saprophytes and they exhibit saprophytic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organisms obtain food from dead and decaying plants or animal matter is called saprophytic nutrition. Non-green plants like amarbel or cuscuta are commonly seen twining around the stem and branches of trees on which they climb. They have special structures called hostoria which pierces into the body of the plant and absorb ready-made food. Such plants are called parasites and the mode of nutrition is called parasitic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism derives ready-made food from the body of another living organism is called parasitic nutrition. The organisms that obtain ready-made food is called a parasite and the organism from whose body the food is obtained is called the host. So we have understood the parasitic mode of nutrition and we have also understood the saprophytic mode of nutrition. Saprophytic mode of nutrition, as in case of mushrooms, as we sometimes see, these are little fungi that grow on dead decaying matter. They derive their nutrition from the dead decaying matter, as you can see in this picture. So this is saprotrophic mode of nutrition. There is another mode of nutrition by the name symbiosis. Now, symbiosis or symbiotic mode of nutrition is where two organisms are living together. One is doing one job, the other is doing another job. Now, the example taken in this picture is that of lichens. What are lichens? Lichens are a combination of fungi and algae. What do algae do? Algae traps the sunlight and prepares food. And what does fungi do? Fungi in this case absorbs water and nutrients from the soil. So children, in this chapter you have learned so much about nutrition in plants. You have learned about heterotrophic mode of nutrition in animals also, the food web, the food chain, and finally the heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants. So I'm sure you're ready to attempt the questions at the back. Thank you.